Welcome everyone to the Grouse Complex update for August 30th, 2023. My name is Sarah Hall and I'm an information officer with the incident management team assigned to the Grouse Complex. I'm speaking today from our incident command post in West Kelowna, which is located on the traditional territory of the Syilx Okanagan peoples. The Grouse Complex includes the following three fires. The McDougall Creek wildfire, which is adjacent to the city of West Kelowna and currently estimated at 12,635 hectares in size. The Walroy Lake wildfire, which is adjacent to Glenmore and currently estimated at 733 hectares in size. And the Clarke Creek wildfire, which is located on the west side of Lake Country and is 360 hectares in size. There are approximately 319 total staff assigned to the Grouse Complex, which includes wildland firefighters, structural firefighters, operational field staff, and support staff. There are 12 helicopters and 45 pieces of heavy equipment assigned to the complex. I'm now going to pass it over to the Grouse Complex Incident Commander, Scott Rennick, who will be providing an operational update for today.
Thanks, Sarah. And if you can see it, there's our image from Google Earth, and we have the polygons for the three fires that make up the Grouse Complex. So starting with activity over the last 24 hours and the plan moving ahead, with fire 2815 in the Lake Country area, we are in a really good spot right now with the great work that's been done over the last number of weeks by the fire services and wildland staff based out of the camp here and the previous incident management team. With this and fire 2808, we are into a being held status, and we're actually expecting that within the next probably 4 to 5 days, we'll be into an under control status. So we aren't really finding a lot of heat here anymore. There's no visible smoke. So we are using infrared scanning at night with drones that are with contracted companies that provide the service for us throughout the province. Finding very little spots at this time. Anything that is identified within a 200 to 300 foot radius this time is being dealt with during the day by the staff. So we are appropriately moving resources from both these fires over to the McDougall Creek fire, which is fire 2767, as we call it. So switching over to McDougall, quite an active day yesterday. We did see, and you'll see there's a whole series of lines here right now, and I'll kind of explain them sequentially. So this is the fire perimeter as of the 30th this morning that was flown by a helicopter. We have a series of these. This white line is a contingency guard, and this blue line is a closer contingency guard. And really what's facilitated this is the activity that we saw the last couple of days, but especially yesterday, into the Powers Creek drainage, which is located here. We had very strong winds out of the west and northwest predicted that had real potential to push the fire down the Powers Creek drainage and potentially impact into the urban areas of the Glen Rose area. We did a lot of work with our fire behavior specialists, our fire weather forecasters, and so precautionarily we expanded the alert that already existed in the area in the Glen Rosa, but also Spag First Nations to actually a larger area, just with the potential for the fire to actually push down the downslope, down valley, and spotting potentially. We also activated with our fire services partners up to 120 staff into the evening, actually, that were located at the fire department, but also doing patrols in the upper neighborhoods, just as precautionary, just taking no chances here. They were working in there last night. The wind really didn't materialize to the level that it was expected in the forecast. We also had the relative humidity was quite high with potential moisture in the background. Fire behavior really is driven by things like relative humidity, temperature, fuel, and also topography. The relative humidity being high was a good thing. So we did see some expansion. The fire, it did push down into some areas of Powers, but not to the bottom. So around 700 hectares of growth occurred in this area last night. Previous to that, we had made attempts on this incident to actually get much tighter to the fire up in here with crews and heavy equipment. But with the fire behavior that we witnessed, at least on the upper areas, we had to pull those back actually due to safety concerns due to the fire behavior. One of the big ones that now we're looking at is with Powers Creek moving forward is we are building these contingency lines that actually parallel the ski hill, and that's being built by heavy equipment strike teams. And these are mixed groups of feller bunchers, excavators, bulldozers, and skidders that are actually either opening up pre-existing roads or connecting them actually and straightening the line potentially for ignition. This is not something we're looking at yet, but it's again just building a series of catch lines to just give us the best chance for containment. Over the next few days, we are going to see heating temperatures. I guess just stepping back a second, the precipitation amounts we saw with the little rainfall we had was between 0 and 3 millimeters across the fire ground, as our Australian partners would call it. So very little precip, maybe a little tomorrow, but getting into hot temperatures before the weekend, and we see a little bit of a downturn again. So with that, we're actually going to attempt a tighter strategy, but this is very steep, very inoperable in certain areas. So we'll have crews doing direct attack along the line where possible along the south, and then heavy equipment working to where they can't be operable anymore, kind of on this corner. And then the same thing, establishing helipads and even using fixed wing retardants, so to essentially establish lines. We also have 5 heavy lift helicopters, so very large capacity helicopters. They're going to be working especially in this drainage area as the fire tries to keep getting downslope into Powers. We are going to give it a good go. It does have some limitations with the ground and the terrain, and also the forest type changes to a spruce fuel type. So not as the lighter fuels that we saw on the main run, which rain will really impact, but this area really shadows out from the rain, so it'll hold fire for quite a while. So again, we're not out of the woods, especially in this area. The impacts potential, like what we saw a number of weeks ago, are not the same, but we are going to have to work and keep an eye on power. So we're working right now with the regional district, the city of West Kelowna, our First Nation partners, really on preparing basically for that eventuality if it does come to that. But again, we're going to give it a good go to be as tight as we can to it. But if that doesn't succeed, we'll have fallback lines as we proceed over the next couple of days. So lots to come and lots of work, and still ramping resources up as we can to keep working essentially this back into the fire as we pivoted from an urban interface fire where we're cleaning a lot of this work up into a wildland fire. One of the successes we had with that northwest wind was we did a 250 hectare ignition on the north corner, bringing the fire successfully down to our control lines at a number of locations. Really helping us secure the north flank in this area. So some good successes where we took advantage of those northwest and west winds. But again, Powers is going to be the main activity that we're going to see over the next foreseeable future, the next 9 to 14 days as we move forward. And with that, I'll turn it back to Sarah.
Perfect. Thanks, Scott, for that update. Just a quick reminder to the public that there are multiple evacuation orders and alerts that remain throughout the area. For the most up-to-date information, please refer to the Central Okanagan Emergency Operations webpage at www.cordemergency.ca. In addition, there is an area restriction order in place within the vicinity of the McDougall Creek wildfire, located adjacent to West Kelowna, and this area restriction reflects the need to protect public and BC wildfire personnel safety in an area where fire suppression activities are taking place. In addition, please continue to check the McDougall Creek, Walroy Lake, and Clarke Creek wildfire incident pages for the most up-to-date information. And if you have any further questions, you can reach the Grouse Complex Wildfire Information Team at bcws.grousecomplex.info@gov.bc.ca or call us at 778-362-4872.